Service game. Singapore to serve. Level.
So we're back with the singles, and Feng Tianwei, 27-year-old world rank number 7, the favorite here against Elizabeta Samara. Nice placement right to the middle there. Samara quickly backing up and not able to pick a side of the racket.
High pressure situation for Elizabeta Samara now. Up against the top player, among the top players, I should say, of this overall tournament here. Up to a 9-0 now, Feng Tianwei.
And a very good start with 2 serves that have earned her very clean third ball attacks. Samara backing up both points, not able to defend that attack. Great length by Samara, just for a second bounce on the table. You can see Feng trying to figure out what she wants to do with it. And as we remember from the match earlier today, Samara's backhand is the big thing to watch out for.
2-all.
Players take both of their serves, and we're tied up at 2 apiece. So far, a service and receive game. Nice step in there by Samara, really putting the pressure on to take that flip over the table with the backhand. But Feng, definitely a wall, used to the fast-paced game over the table, had a nice response to it, sending Samara away from the table right after.
2-4.
Short serve to the backhand, sort of an odd choice to step around and end up pushing with the forehand. Looked like a last-minute change of mind there. Samara trailing by 2 as she was last time she started the serve. What a backhand.
Cool.
Quick to the short side of the table, picked a spot that nobody saw coming. And that's what makes her one of the top players in the world, is the unpredictability, the change of direction on that backhand shot.
Plus down the line, usually a good placement to win the point. We see so many shots played cross-court because from a technical point of view, this is just the easy option for the backhand and the forehand as well. But if you play down the line, you break the rhythm anyway.
Right, much shorter part of the table, smaller margin for error. So far, everyone has held their serve, 4 points apiece on their serves. And again, great service placement. Questionable choice. Samara running around that backhand again to play a soft forehand, leaving the attack there and the forehand court open for Feng to take. Well, that's what it's going to take, is taking the receive with the backhand attack, but it's right into the backhand. I think she's got to find the elbow of Feng, because Feng's too comfortable blocking that shot to start the rally. We don't want to see Samara get away from the table either. We've seen the feeder a little bit slower, and against this level of play, you can't sacrifice your position at the table.
5, 6.
Not a serve missed. Everyone who's served has won the point so far still. Game 1 has been filled with shorter rallies.
As was game 1 for Samara's first game, if you remember.
That's right.
Also due to her excellent serve.
And that is the first broken serve. Serve drifted a little bit long, allowing Feng to take the attack first. Heavy spin ball, a lot of pressure on the backhand, flat hit there by Samara trying to cover it. Toweling off, she's now trailing by 2 for the first time. That Feng has started the serve. It hasn't worked yet. She's been running around it. We see her switching off, still trying to decide what the best receive is for this serve to the backhand. Nice underspin. Lobs deep on the table, just a little bit too deep. She needed to get one of those serves.
Still collected, very focused, very determined here, Feng Tianwei. Honestly, as a fan of table tennis, nice to see her in that way.
6, 9.
Wasn't always the case on the World Tour this year. But in these big tournaments, in these tense situations, she's very focused.
Nine, 7.
Very close to the back edge of the table. Tough to tell if it clipped. I guess it didn't. Samara with great service placement of her own there. The ball barely coming off the edge of the table. The experience and patience of Feng creating a good opportunity, but just playing it to the short side of the table was just long.
The past 3 games played between the two. 2 were won by Feng Tianwei, but the last match was indeed won by Elizabeta. Samara, who at least is in danger of losing this first game now.
There it is again, that forehand receive from the backhand corner. Not enough pace on it. The placement still right into the backhand. And Feng sees it, leaves open the forehand court, and just crosses it right there. Let's service, fortunately.
7.
For Samara, that is. Much better receive, brings it out, cross court to the forehand. Looked like Feng was not expecting that shot, had to get there quickly. Was waiting on the backhand side. Players toweling off. You were going to say, Seb?
Something that Feng should be looking into is not playing this half-long serve into the backhand, because as you said, and as we've seen in the first game as well, Elizabeta Samara especially strong on the backhand receive when the ball has enough length on it. Wow.
Great exchange, counter loops, forehands and backhands from Samara. Not resorting to the lob, trying to stay in the point, but the last ball, a little bit of pace taken off, falls short, and Samara not able to loop it. As 11-8, first game goes to Feng of Singapore. And we come back to the table for the second game as Feng Tianwei of Singapore takes the first 11-8. Although we've seen the experience of Samara, the versatility, she's changed things up. Last match, second game was much better than the first, and quite a drastic switch in performance. So I'm pretty excited to see what Samara pulls out here. Let's service. Very nice first spin ball deep to the backhand, but Feng makes the break and blocks it out wide to the forehand with a very fast, low trajectory block. Samara not ready to recover from her first big forehand. Nice placement on the serve, half long out to the forehand. Not a lot of option for Feng, and Elizabeta Samara gets a nice third ball hit.
Feng Tianwei was committed to playing the second shot with the forehand as well, and that's very tough from that position she was in, moving away from the table and into her backhand side. Good placement from Elizabeta Samara overall.
2, 1.
That's a trap. It's just a trap. That serve right there. We see the forehand receive from Samara, sort of a medium receive, and she's caught in between steps there, but just sort of a swat at the ball to recover. Great change of pace by Feng. Big backhand over the table loop.
That was deceptive as well, that serve. It looked much easier than it actually was to flick that. Clever job by Feng Tianwei the last 2 points.
Wow. backhand. That's the backhand that we saw attempted last point.
That's pure defiance right there.
Not a bad flip receive either. The ball was gone before there was any chance of even getting back and set to the middle for Feng. Very nice defense from Samara after the inside-out forehand.
Timeout.
Falling to the ground, sort of side-swiping that ball. And then another low shot, the block. It's a pretty... Was a timeout called?
No, actually just a towel break.
I was going to say that'd be a pretty early timeout, although
Yeah.
we've seen earlier in this tournament. We've seen some first game timeouts in very important moments.
4-3.
Again, that heavy underspin serve. Samara having trouble reading it. World rank number 7. The art of deception. It's a huge factor out here. You could see the look on Elizabeta's face. Right after she hit that ball, she knew it was too deep. She doesn't want to be there anyway. We've seen her do some counter-looping rallies from several steps off the table. Defensive position, but still coming back in to make the attack. And she's got the power, especially on the backhand side. A little bit of hesitation right at the elbow. Great placement by Feng. Samara not sure what to do, where to go with that shot. Once again, Singapore is leading in this overall match, 2-1. So there's a lot of pressure on Romania's Samara right now.
7-3.
Just Feng Tianwei demonstrating why she has not dropped a match so far in this World Championships. 9-0 her results, and well on her way to scoring that 10th point really. 7-3. What a valuable player to have on your team at this tournament.
7-4.
And she's pretty much been sticking to the plan. We've seen a lot of play right into the elbow, followed up with angular shots and stepping in, taking advantage of a soft ball. Samara's going to have some better responses to derail the train.
Let 7-4.
Great banana flip by Samara, but a little bit slow. Feng stepped in right away, punched it down the backhand line.
And that was just dry, really. All the effort Elizabeta Samara put into that backhand flick. The perfect laconic response really from Feng Tianwei, just block it straight in. She looks relaxed too, and why shouldn't she be?
That inside-out forehand, great placement from Feng. It looked like Samara was planted, ready for the shot, but then it was into the body. You'll see here, very great pace. It was almost a defensive swat, ball right at the face. That was all Samara could do to even bring that ball back. Tough shot. Excellent serve, the ball biting the table and staying for a second bounce. It looked like Feng caught the table trying to recover that serve. You could see her wiping her racket, checking the rubber, making sure everything was okay.
Seems to be okay, otherwise she would have had to switch her racket. This is something the players try to avoid at all costs.
Yeah, that can be a detrimental loss to a player. You're using your spare, little bit different in the feel, something might not be the same. It can cost you the match sometimes, even mentally for the player. And now it's 5 game points for Feng Tianwei. What a backhand, quick feet. She steps in right away. It's as if she knew the ball was going to be there. Part of her plan. That's the experience of world rank number 7, and she's up 2-0. So Feng Tianwei holding up her end of the bargain right now, up 2-0 against Elizabeta Samara from Romania. Romania is trailing 1 match to 2 in the overall matchup.
Singapore to serve.
And Feng Tianwei showing no signs of even potential defeat.
Plus, I'm liking the demeanor of Feng Tianwei. Really this calm and collective, like, I'm never going to lose this anyway attitude that she's bringing to the table. At least that's what I'm reading into it.
Yeah, it's a nice focus too. It's not a cocky, I don't need to bring my game to the table confidence. It's a, this is what I'm doing and this is working for me confidence. Nice placement there. Very good banana flip over the table. The backhand receive has been far more effective for Samara, not falling into that trap of taking a soft receive with the forehand. Just lifting a little bit too much on that ball. And as you mentioned before, the forehand flip that Samara has been doing from the backhand side, just a little bit soft. And Feng really able to exploit that and take control of the point early on. And Feng all the way over on the forehand side of the court to make the backhand receive. Samara, very nice response for the third ball, staying on top of it, spinning it wide to the length of the court. Oh, the first counter was beautiful. The inside-out forehand. Nice lob deep on the table, but the patience and confidence of Feng. And once again, it was that placement right into the body that caught Samara a little bit off guard and forced her away from the table.
I like the loop, though, of Elizabeta Samara, bouncing right on the white line and bouncing high. That is difficult for a player like Feng Tianwei to smash back, because some of the players will just refuse to hit the ball overhead and always try to hit it beside the head with a bit of topspin there.
But Feng has won the last 2 points from down 1-3. It's now tied up, and Samara has the serve. Very clever placement. I mean, I thought for sure that Samara hitting it back to the forehand side after the first one. Right there, you can see it caught Feng off guard, but she stayed with it, got back and ready, no problem. That's 4 in a row for the Singaporean Feng Tianwei. Great receive. You could see Samara was very surprised to have it back in the backhand after that first serve. Reverse
Fantastic
pendulum.
follow-up too. I mean, just first soft the topspin into the body, saw that it caught Samara off guard, and then immediately stepped towards the table and put a weight into the second forehand topspin. Fantastic to watch. Feng Tianwei firmly in control of this match. I mean, look at this, 6-3 now.
And that was the deception again with the little pull from the wrist to give it some topspin. Watch right here. Was that the last point?
Caught me there.
It caught me off guard a little bit. Thought I saw something else, but it's now, that's 5 points in a row for Feng Tianwei. Good time for a timeout for the Romanian team. Samara needs to do something. She started strong, and Feng just showing her prowess and experience out here. Really good play, always ready, as you said, resilient, short strokes, quick to recover, quick to get back, even against attacks, different placement from Samara. Nothing is really working for Samara right now to distract the focus of Feng.
Yeah, and let's come back to the issue of timeout once again. Why do it now? Why not do it when Elizabeta Samara was leading and slowly but surely lost her lead? Once again, just showing the different mindsets here. Right. Passive timeout versus active timeout, offensive versus defensive timeout.
You were saying the European coaches tend to do the defensive timeouts?
More often than not, they do.
Passive timeout versus active, right.
6-3.
Tough serve, very low. Going to be a very hard ball to banana flip from there. Nice placement by Feng. Again, placement is everything for her.
Oh. Yeah, that came back somehow.
Great patience. A lot of players think the point's over when it hits the edge of the paddle. Sometimes a cho or a scream or a celebration. Samara knew there was a chance and stuck with it and then just hit the ball off into another dimension. What a backhand. That is the backhand we saw earlier in the first match for Samara that was detrimental, just too intimidating for the opponent. And even with the patience and consistency of Feng, too much pace and spin on that ball, catching the edge of the racket.
Now this is a very crucial point here for both players. 6-7 feels so much different than 5-8 and being confronted with elimination.
7-5.
A lot of pressure to receive that serve and do something good with it. Tried to keep it short. Not a bad idea, but very good service placement, keeping it nice and low and deceptive spin from Feng.
Samara usually scores with this backhand flick, and why not attempt it there? Why try the forehand flick? And now the backhand fails her as well.
Seemed like the timeout was working well. Nice little run, but things have turned and now it's a 4-point lead. Feng getting very close to closing out this entire overall match.
6.
The backhand again, rocket happened to go on the table this time. Let's see if Samara can keep her cool and employ that backhand once again. Nice service placement, tough to read the spin. Not very often you're gonna get Feng to miss a receive like that.
Two points to go for Feng Tianwei, 2 points for Singapore. And we have to remember, ladies and gentlemen, this is for the medal. The winner of this match will at least receive a third-place bronze medal for the World Team Championships. And it looks like it'll be Singapore, led by Feng Tianwei. Can she really defeat two opponents in this team setup once again?
10.
Excellent fearless backhand from a step or two off the table. Samara still hanging in there. Down by 2, the players will towel off. And Samara will have the last 2 serves in a row that we will see this game. Excellent serve, heavy underspin on the reverse pendulum. And very nice deception from Samara as well. Both players using whatever they can to fool the opponent on the serve, and the timeout is called by Singapore. It appeared to be a player timeout rather than the coach making the call.
That is just experience working for you. Interesting decision, very bold move, especially from Elizabeta. Samara going for that high-risk serve. It paid off, always nice when risk pays off.
It wouldn't surprise me to see a similar serve a little bit more to the middle of the table at this point. Short, heavy underspin. Feng has been pretty aggressive so far with her receives. Nice flip action. Haven't seen her do a lot of short to short balls. Taking good initiation. And I guess the Swedish at this point, Waldner would serve short with no spin, knowing that there's a lot of nerve and people are reacting to heavy spin, maybe popping the ball up, allowing for a great third ball attack.
Exactly, but what an amount of confidence you would have to attempt that. This is just an invitation for the opponent to score. But you're absolutely right, with the psychology of it, it could work. Let's see how cool Elizabeta Samara reacts to this pressure.
9, 10.
And it is over. The deal is sealed. Feng Tianwei, the ace in the hole, taking 2 singles matches, defeating Elizabeta Samara from Romania, a 3-0 win, and that is 3-1 for Singapore, who is advancing to the semifinals in the women's teams competition. Stick around, we'll have more matches for you. You are watching the 2014 Zenno World Teams Table Tennis Championships in Tokyo, Japan. I'm Adam Bobrow with Seb, and we are live at the Yoyogi National Gymnasium.
Thanks for watching. Tune in, as Adam said, for more action. We'll be back shortly with the next game from Tokyo.